Hellblade, Senua's sacrifice. Is it worth a buy? Is it worth your money? Is it worth your hard-earned cash? Well, let's read the words of the developer, then I'll tell you what I think. From the makers of Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, and DMC Devil May Cry, comes a warrior's brutal journey into myth and madness. Set in the Viking Age, a broken Celtic warrior embarks on a haunting vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. Yes, guys, it's another storytelling, cinematic, linear, third-person walking simulator that really is the kind of game that in the past has made me want to just bury my face in a cow plat and go brrr. So you can imagine my trepidation when I picked this up, and the second I started playing it, I was greeted with a 5-minute cutscene of somebody rowing a log down a river, and I just and then I started running through a linear path, opening doors while these voices in my head was going, she's running along a path, she's not running along a path, she's running along a path, look, there's a door, she can't see the door, she's f***ing stupid.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead.
And I just thought, what the fuck is this shit? An hour later, guys, I was thinking to myself, this is a brilliant experience. It covers a topic, guys, that a lot of people think shouldn't be covered in video games, and that is mental illness. This game specifically covers psychosis. You play Senua, who's a Celtic woman whose lover was killed by Vikings, brutally killed by an invading Viking party, and she goes to Viking hell to get him back, essentially, and kick the fuck out of the Viking gods that dwell there. But she suffers, as you work this out for yourself, from psychosis. She has these voices in her head that are so well done, guys, that it is just amazing, especially when you're wearing headphones. You actually feel for this woman. You actually become this woman. You attach yourself to the character. Like I can't ever remember myself being more attached to a character than I was with. It's probably because these voices are so well done.
Illusion hides the path to Valravn. Don't trust your eyes.
And you walk through this linear world and you have to find your lover. And to do that, you have to open many a door that is guarded by monsters that just appear out of the shadows and just come at you. I'll come into the combat in a second. But a lot of the doors, to open them, require you to do a little bit of a puzzle. And the puzzles in this game aren't very good. That's a problem. They're very basic. The world, it's not. There's not much searching around the world for stuff. Everything's kind of there for you, and you will do the puzzle eventually. It felt more like padding than a puzzle, but as I kind of got to know my character, I then realised that the puzzles are there to bring some kind of stability to her mentality, something that she can concentrate on. You see, the puzzles revolve around looking for shapes. So to get through each door, you'll have to find in the environment a couple of shapes that match the ones on the door, symbols. And you do this by looking at perspective views of maybe branches in trees, a bridge, a ruined building, and you will see these same shapes, and you line up the shape on the door that you can see in your mind with the shape on the building or the flagpole or whatever, and then the door will open. There's also other clever things done with the graphics in this game which do look absolutely gorgeous. There will be times where you will see no staircase, for example, to get up in maybe it's a ruined building, and you think, well, how the hell am I going to get up there? But you can see these floaty, fragmented shards, and if you stand at a specific angle to these shards, they will form a staircase, and then you just focus on that and the staircase becomes. And that is so good. It's a bit like that Indiana Jones film where they were finding the chalice, the cup of that Jesus drank from, that, and he couldn't find a way across, and he scattered the dust, and from a certain angle it looked like a cliff, but there was actually a path. It's full of that kind of stuff, which I love in games. It's also got these portals that when you go through them, you come into the same world but in a different time, and one might be nice and bright and lovely, and the other might be horrible and dark, full of impaled bodies. And it's just so well done, the whole way you do all of that. There's no HUD in this game at all, no head-up display whatsoever in this game, which really works well. I'm not a fan of big HUDs, and this has none, and it's so good. You don't know whether you're in a cutscene or whether you're playing half the time, and that can be a bit confusing. But the whole game can be a bit confusing because a lot of it is lies, and I'm not talking about yes men reviewers here. I'm talking about the game lies to you. You think something's going on that just isn't going on, and you have to focus yourself. They've done the mental illness so well. The way that you go in and out of that state and listening to the voices is just phenomenal when you think about it, because you'll see something going on, like a monster appearing out of nowhere, and it's like, is that real or is it not real? And I've been hit of things that I thought weren't real, and so you kind of you don't know what, you feel like you're tripping. It's so that they've covered the psychosis so well. The voices are just brilliantly done. I've never heard voices done so well in a game in my life, and I've been playing games for 30 years. It's just insanely well done, this game, really well done. Hats off to the developers. It's a masterpiece of storytelling, this game. There is no question about that. You will be in a fight and you see the enemy walking towards you, and they look absolutely formidable. I've never seen anything strike fear like these do when they walk towards you. It's just like, my goodness, look at you. And I'm this little woman, this little girl with a sword, and it's like, fucking hell. And then as the enemy gets going, he's coming for you. You hear the voices. It's like, he's going to beat. She's scared. It's going to beat you. You're going to die. And all these things, and you're trying to concentrate on the fighting, which is pretty simplistic. You've got a heavy attack, a light attack, a charge, a dodge, and a block. And so you haven't got a lot to work with. And the enemy, they can be quite brutal, and you can be facing up to 4 or 5 or even 6 of these at a time. And they will try to get behind you, and they'll start hitting you hard. And the problem with this game is, if you die, it deletes the saved game, and you start from the beginning. You lose all progress, apparently, if you die. I've never died yet, but I have come close, and you feel that tension all the time that you're playing, and that works so well with the mental health issues that this game is portraying, because you feel like you have got to survive, and that is how Senua survives this game. It's not through magic or anything like that, or superpowers. She is a survivor because she has this will to survive, this will to find her lover, and you feel that totally. They get that across to the player so well that I've never seen anything quite like it in my life. You're fighting these battles, and the voices are saying, he's strong, he's stronger than you. She's gonna die. You're gonna die. Look at her. She's so weak. She can't fight. And I was actually shouting at my screen just this morning when I was playing this. I was like, no, I'm gonna fucking beat you. I'm gonna beat you. And you are pulling out of your own mental strength to beat these people, because if you get immersed like I do in the games, you're listening to these voices. It is so fucking good, guys. It is so fucking good. One of the best, in fact, no, this is the best story game I've ever played. I've played a lot of story games that I've branded walking simulators. They're all fucking awful. This is how you do it. If you're going to do a game that is entirely based around immersion and the story, yeah, the combat might be a little bit basic. The boss fights, although some can be a bit difficult, they're not that bad. I mean, I've beaten most of them pretty easy. It's not about the combat. The graphics is great. It's not about the graphics. It's about the immersion of being inside of this woman who's suffering from psychosis, getting to know what that's like, and you yourself trying to fight that as you go through the game. It really makes you think. It really makes you look at this whole thing from a different perspective, and that, I think, is just amazing to play. It's got its faults for sure. It's got its faults. The puzzles could be a little bit better. The combat could be a little bit better. There's a few times when you have to backtrack a lot because you can't jump over a rock that's 2 foot freaking high because you can't jump. It has all the ingredients that would make me hate the game, but I absolutely love this game. It's just done so damn well. The developers of this game should win awards for this. This is how to tell a story. This is how you do it, and I think they picked on a brilliant story to do it. And the acting, the voice acting, in the real character acting, because there's real character acting in this as well, is just sublime. It is brilliant. One of the best games I've played for a long time, even though it's only 6 to 8 hours long and it's £25. But I tell you what, this proves that you do not need big ass fucking publishers to create a really great game. That's what this proves. Fuck the publishers, fuck you Electronic Arts, fuck you Ubisoft, fuck you Activision. This is Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory have done this themselves. They've published it themselves. Go fuck yourselves, big publishers. These have done it. They've done a fabulous job, and I recommend you go and buy this if you are into stories, if you are into anything like immersion. You will get immersed in this so much. It's fucking brilliant.
You can't put it into words.